Well, hello, my YouTube friends. So with pennies going out of production, I don't know what the plan is anymore. What are we supposed to be hoarding them? And doesn't that make the situation worse? Shouldn't we be putting them back in circulation? I mean, not all of them, maybe some of them, like these. I don't want to put these back in circulation. These are various proof scents. And the proof ones, I bought those from AppMex, so they weren't cheap. They weren't too expensive either. A lot of the other ones I took out of circulation, like Abe upside down right there. He's got a little color on him. So I don't want to put this back into circulation. Those are all solid copper. Got more solid copper here. Solid copper 1 ounce rounds. I bought these from Chuck and Plata a few years ago when I had my other channel, various Golden State Mint, designs. That one landed right on my toe. Second Amendment. There's a Freedom Girl. 2017 Freedom Girl. So that's all solid copper. I got a tube of Freedom Girls right here. A couple of them missing that I gave to friends of mine. This one's a 2021. Wow, it's been that long. So that's solid copper. So if you have solid copper scents, then I guess you want to keep them. You don't want to give those away. What about the like the Clad? Am I supposed to be pulling these out of circulation or putting them back in circulation? Don't ask me why I ended up with the tube of 1990p uncirculated 1 cent pieces. They look all right. Copper's an interesting metal, so that's Clad, I guess. Let's look at some other Clad, like this, for example. I don't know what the metal, if it's a copper alloy of some sort, a gilding metal, you know, covered with, there's copper Clad, but those are standard 55 grain plinking rounds. That's 500 of them. The box had changed, but the product didn't. I used to crank those out on the loading bench, on the loading press, until primers got so expensive. I haven't bought primers in years. Here's some Zombie-Geddon 40 grain Z-Max, designed to repel The Walking Dead, I suppose. I think that holds 500 of them. Yeah, there's 500 of those. What else? Got something over here. So here's a 40 grain V-Max. I wonder if that's the exact same thing, except it's red and not green. So that one's partially empty. It used to hold 250 of them. Not sure how many is in there. Here's a unopened. You can see the tape right there. It's 250 more 40 grainers. Some Hornady. What do we got? This one. I've had these for so long, and they didn't work for me. Because I thought they would work with the 1 7-inch twist barrel, and they do, think I fired a couple of them. Or no, I don't think I did or not, but because I loaded some up and, or I tried to or something. But anyway, the problem with these is they're so long, and then they're not made to fit an AR magazine. And so they're like real super long. You know, maybe like a bolt action hunting rifle, these would be good. But not in the AR platform, because the magazine makes you seat it so deep and then it's like falling into the case. So how many was that? 600. There's 600 of those. They've been sitting for a while. Here's some GMX, and judging by that image, so it's got a plastic tip, solid copper. This one's been opened. Single cannular or single crimping groove, hollow point. I haven't loaded any of these. In fact, I just opened it a few minutes ago on the first take. And then I wasn't happy with that filming, so I had to do a second take, which is what you're watching now. Here's an unopened box. I picked these up at an estate sale. And I knew the family, so I'm sure I did not pay $23 for that. Where's that one? These boxes only hold 50. So I've got 200 of those. But yeah, if copper is what you want, I mean, there's copper. Here's a slug I pulled from a 45 ACP round. In fact, and they're spilling out everywhere. Phoenix ammunition. Got a couple of these. And I did shoot up one bag of them. I think this holds 100. And I had four bags. I had to test them through my existing pistols. They work good in the SIG. And I don't remember how they work in the Ultra Carry. But there's a solid copper right there. So various forms of copper, and still not sure what the answer is to do with 1 cent pieces. So I guess I'll continue to roll them up and put them back in circulation. All right, my friends, you have a good day.